bit of advice. Do we offer liposuction to the upper arms? You know what? I don't do as much liposuction as you might think I would. You might think plastic surgeon, they're in there doing liposuction all day long. I do like doing liposuction. I do. I love it. I do. It's great. Tiny incisions. Don't have to worry about wound healing. It's very satisfying seeing the fat come out. The problem with liposuction is it doesn't remove skin. And so I'm wary about where I do liposuction. Hips and flanks, male chest, you know, a lot of people want it on the arms, a lot of people want it on the abdomen, a lot of people want it on the inner thigh, and I tend not to use it on those areas. Reason being, the skin doesn't recoil. So I worry about not getting a good result, because the problem with liposuction is the equipment's expensive. It's an expensive procedure. It's not a cheap procedure. And if you have an expensive procedure and have an average result, you're not going to be happy. If you have a cheap procedure and an average result, you're probably going to accept it a bit better. So I tend not to do liposuction to the upper arms as a rule. I wouldn't never say never. You can do it, and I could do it, but I wouldn't tend to do it. Now, there are assisted forms of liposuction, things like laser, and there's loads, smart lipo, and anyway, they've got some kind of energy associated as well as the liposuction. So I use power-assisted liposuction, which means the machine goes backwards and forwards, and it just sucks the fat out. The energy type liposuctions have got some kind of energy that's delivered to the fat to sort of dissolve the fat before you suck it out. Good thing being that they use smaller cannulas, more likely to do it under local anesthetic. And they also say because it's delivering energy to the fat, it might deliver some energy to the skin, and it might cause some kind of skin retraction. So those assisted forms of liposuction do say that they form some degree of skin retraction. So they might be the sort of ones that would be more appropriate for the areas that I tend not to do liposuction, like the arms, the abdomen, and the inner thighs. These are all areas I don't do liposuction as a sole procedure because I worry about there being excess skin there and it not looking good. Whereas if you, and I think excisional procedures are better, but I completely understand that a lot of people don't want an excisional procedure because an excisional procedure means a big scar, and an arm reduction, big scar down the arm, you know, you don't fancy it, and I completely get that. So there's definitely a market for a non-scarring, if you like, procedure for the arms to sort of tighten the skin. But I have struggled a bit with getting it with sort of recommending just liposuction without taking the skin out, because I worry about there being hanging skin there, and you really need something that's going to tighten that skin. And so maybe these assisted forms of liposuction would do the trick, but you probably have to speak to someone who does them, because I don't do them, to see whether that would be something that's worthwhile looking at. But it's definitely an area that needs something, because I think there is a lot of people who don't want an arm reduction but would like their arm of their skin tighter, and it's a gap in the market.